News. I'm Nora O'Donnell in our nation's capital. Good night.
Forecast First, sponsored by Carolina Ford Dealers.
Now 7 News at 7. We've got breaking news in Anderson County where deputies say a man was shot and killed inside a home in Easley. Hear from someone who owns the home where the shooting started.
Plus, South Carolina investigators and prosecutors say they've made several arrests in a human trafficking. Hear how the Attorney General believes these arrests will help deal with the ongoing problem.
And sharing ideas to preserve and rebuild the Newtown community. Good evening. Breaking news in Greenville County. A man convicted of killing 4 people in a crash when he was under the influence of drugs has been sentenced to decades behind bars. In April, Richard Plowden of Greenville pleaded guilty to driving while on meth, Ambien, and oxycodone.
In September of 2020, Plowden crossed the center line of Highway 14, hitting an oncoming car. 4 senior citizens were killed in that crash, and Plowden has been sentenced to 35 years.
In Anderson County, a homicide investigation is now underway.
Deputies there say a man was shot and killed inside a home in Easley. It all happened this morning on Riley Road. The coroner has released the name of the man who was killed. 7 News' Melanie Palmer has that and also spoke with the person who owned the home where it happened.
The coroner here has just identified the victim as a 20-year-old man named Jarcavius Webb. The details around his death are still very slim, but deputies here with the Anderson County Sheriff's Office are now calling it the result of a domestic altercation.
This is just a tragic thing.
Jim House owns this home surrounded by police tape. He's currently renting it out to a family, but before that, it was a special place for him.
This is one of the quietest neighborhoods. I raised my family here. My kids were raised in that house.
However, now it's at the center of what the Anderson County Sheriff's Office has deemed a death investigation.
We had deputies respond to the address. When they got there, they went inside the home and they found the adult male inside. He had been shot at least once and had died there.
Sergeant J.T. Foster with the department says the investigation is still in the early phases, so they can't share too much. However, he tells us no one else was hurt.
It's not a reflection on the neighborhood. Great neighbors and good people here.
And while deputies continue their investigation into it all, this homeowner says he couldn't be more surprised to hear something like this unfolded in an area he has always known as being quiet. Plus, he tells us he wants to help the family who was renting this home as they deal with the aftermath of it all.
By the grace of God, we move forward.
Now, deputies tell us there was no sign of forced entry into the home. They also believe everyone involved knows each other. With that being said, they say there is no threat to the public. They told us earlier today they were questioning some people they believe could have been connected to all of this. No word, though, right now on any arrests. In Anderson County, Melanie Palmer, 7 News.
Also in Anderson County, police in Honeypath are investigating a shooting. 2 people were hurt in it over the weekend. Happened early Sunday on East Hampton. Police say both victims were taken to the hospital. We don't know their latest conditions. Still no word of any suspects in the case.
A police department in the Midlands is mourning the loss of one of its own. A Casey police officer was killed in the line of duty, and they say the suspected shooter died after a 7-hour standoff. Officer Roy Andrew Barr was shot early Sunday morning as he responded to a domestic disturbance. The state law enforcement division says 36-year-old Austin Henderson shot the officer, then barricaded himself inside the home. They say Henderson died after turning the gun on himself. Barr was 28 years old. He had been with Casey police for 6 years. SLED is investigating.
South Carolina's Attorney General's office says 13 people were arrested in multiple human trafficking investigations. State enforcement agents, prosecutors shared some of those details on the operation in Columbia this afternoon. Here's Jason Raven with the story.
Well, the State Human Trafficking Task Force conducted the multi-day investigation. They joined agencies from the Lowcountry and PD region to targeting commercial sex buyers on the I-95 corridor. Officials say the operations were focused on hotels and motels along the I-95 corridor. Now, SLED says these types of locations are where people commonly engage in commercial sex activity like prostitution.
We do it to come into contact with folks that are soliciting commercial sex, but also that in the hopes that we come into contact with victims so that we might bring them peace and a new sort of life.
And according to Human Trafficking Unit Supervisor Lieutenant Jade Roy with SLED, the operations resulted in the arrest of 13 different people. In addition to charges related to commercial sex crimes, some individuals are facing weapons and drug charges.
This particular operation did run sort of that corridor. But we know that trafficking is occurring in every backyard across the state, no matter whether it's on an interstate corridor or not.
The operations happened last week in Hardeeville, Florence, and Somerville. Now, Somerville Police Chief Doug Wright says these coordinated operations are a true testament of what South Carolina's Human Trafficking Task Force can accomplish.
You don't know who's going to be coming with a badge to your house. It could be your local police, your local sheriff, SLED, could be HSI. You have no idea, but we're all working together, and we're going to find you, and we're going to arrest you.
The State Attorney General Alan Wilson says by stopping the demand for commercial sex in South Carolina, they believe it will discourage human traffickers from looking for more victims.
If you're a person who feeds the market for this type of illicit activity because you're buying commercial sex, we're coming for you. And if you're a victim, we're here for you. And we're here to provide you hope and a way out. And that's what this group of men and women assembled here today are here for.
Officers say they seized 3 firearms during these operations. In Columbia, Jason Raven, 7 News.
If you suspect human trafficking, there's a national hotline, 888-373-7888 on your screen. If you think someone's in immediate danger, of course, just call 911. Lawrence County District 55 is asking the community for donations to buy law enforcement some new dogs for school security. School district's hoping to provide a dog for the Lawrence County Sheriff's Office and another for the Lawrence Police. They hope to raise $20,000. That'd cover the cost of the dog and the training. They've set up a GoFundMe for donations. You can find that in this story at WSPA.com.
We've seen sunny skies and warmer temperatures today. The weekend was lovely as well, but rain is on the way tomorrow. Let's check in with 7 News Chief Meteorologist Christy Henderson for the forecast first.
All right, thanks a lot, Taylor. Yeah, a cold front out to our west is going to bring in a chance of showers tomorrow. It certainly has been a nice stretch of dry weather. Satellite Luke kind of flipping out on me here, but you can see that we've had some showery weather across the eastern portion of Tennessee. Temperatures with sunshine here have been in the 80s. We topped out at 84 today. It wasn't a record, but much warmer than normal at GSP. Right now, 82 in Greenville, 82 in Anderson, Spartanburg reporting 81, 76 degrees in Asheville. So just very quiet weather for us tonight. It's going to take until tomorrow before our shower chances go up. By 9 o'clock, we'll be in the 70s. And by tomorrow morning, a warm start to the day, 50s and 60s. We'll talk more about those shower chances coming up in the forecast in just a few minutes.
Christy, thank you. A 7 News State House watch. A bill that gives state employees paid family leave is headed to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 11 gives state employees 6 weeks of paid leave for the birth of a child. Co-parents would get 2 weeks of paid leave. The bill also guarantees paid leave for families adopting or fostering a new child. Right now, state employees use paid time off or sick time to get paid when welcoming a new child.
Up next on 7 News, the latest on Ukraine. Hear from the U.S. Secretary of State, who just met with the Ukrainian president.
And 7 News is your local election headquarters as we approach the North Carolina Republican primary on May 17th. Nexstar Media will host a debate with the candidates for U.S. Senate. The statewide 1-hour debate will be broadcast on WICW Channel 62 tomorrow night. That's April 26th at 7 p.m.
When you build your home, you're building your future. A mix of hard work and the right tools, like the 2022 Ford F-150 truck with available Pro Power onboard. See your Carolina Ford dealer. Start building your future today.
After another long winter, spring is finally here. When you choose Corley, you choose quality service you can depend on. Right now, take advantage of our preseason AC tune-up for only $59. CorleyPro.com.
drive a Honda, the adventures go on and on. Follow your adventures with the rugged power of Honda, the brand owners are calling the most fun to drive. Hurry into a local Honda dealer where new vehicles are arriving daily.
It's bow time. This Bojangles made from scratch biscuit is so good, we gave it a sidekick that's just as never frozen, just as fluffy, just as delicious. We call them the Buttermilk Beauties. Get 2 sausage and egg biscuits for just $5. It's bow time.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue, anything but basic.
Get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue, or save up to $3,762 in select models.
Would you settle for a little bit of money? I wouldn't.
If you want to get all the money you deserve, call George Sink Entry Lawyers at 864-ALL-9.
They settled my case for $300,000. Just call 864-ALL-9.
It's you and your friends, hanging out, having fun, building new relationships, building your future with the smart tech that comes with the 2022 Ford Escape SUV. See your Carolina Ford dealer. Start building your future today.
The latest on the war in Ukraine. Both President Biden and the leader of Ukraine described today's meeting in Ukraine's capital with the Secretary of State and Defense Secretary as good.
They are the highest-ranking American officials to make that trip since the Russian attacks began. They say more diplomats will be there in coming weeks. Here's Deborah Alfarone.
President Biden has announced his intention to nominate career diplomat Bridget Brink to be the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. She currently serves as the U.S. ambassador to Slovakia. The official White House announcement came after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met for about 3 hours with President Volodymyr Zelensky and his staff in Kyiv.
When it comes to Russia's war aims, Russia is failing. Ukraine is succeeding.
During the visit, the two leaders said the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv will reopen in the coming weeks, and American diplomats will start making day trips into the country next week, starting in the western city of Lviv.
We're doing it carefully. We're doing it with the security of our personnel foremost in mind.
The U.S. secretaries also announced $700 million in military financing for Ukraine and nearby allies, amid Moscow's warnings against sending more arms into Ukraine.
We want to see Russia weakened to the degree that it can't do the kinds of things that it has done in invading Ukraine.
Monday, Russian forces launched strikes against Ukrainian railways, which are vital to moving supplies and evacuating civilians. Meanwhile, Russia says it is investigating large fires at 2 of its oil depots near the town of Bryansk, which is not far from Ukraine's border. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
UN Secretary General will go to Moscow this week to try to convince the Russian president to end the war. He will then also travel to Kyiv.
Coming up on 7 News, the latest SpaceX flight came to a successful end with a splashdown this afternoon. We'll recap the mission of the first ever all-private astronaut crew to fly to space.
And we're enjoying quiet weather this evening, but it looks like rain chances will pick up during the day tomorrow, all ahead of a cold front that's also going to cool us down from where we were today. We'll talk more about what to expect in the forecast coming up in a few minutes.
What if I made the wrong choice coming to college so far away? You find your people.
I don't know where I come from, at least not yet. This is me.
Are you ready? I got this.
All American Homecoming. New series tonight at 9/8 Central, only on the CW.
Forgiven.
Mix and match the classic McDouble with even more faves for just $3.29.
In the Carolinas, True Blue means unwavering loyalty and commitment. To earn this level of trust, Ford builds the trucks and SUVs that help keep you in command when you're on the road. And in return, America has shown its loyalty. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Discover what True Blue means to you. Now get 2.9% financing for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash on the 2022 Ford F-150. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
2 people will have immunity. 2 people going home tonight. We are dividing you into 2 teams of 5. My God.
Getting split totally sucks because none of these people are really my close allies.
I've been waiting for my moment. Now is that time.
He feels like a top dog right now, and he's not listening to me.
I'm going to have to trust the one person that I don't trust. This is my worst nightmare.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
Kind of got a sixth sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
You brought all these players in your Buick?
Yep.
So you.
It is.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you. No interest on Buick SUV models. See your local Buick dealer.
You know it's going to be a good day when your biggest concern is collecting all the crumbs falling from the McDonald's crispy chicken biscuit.
Mix and match 2 faves for just $4.39, like the crispy chicken biscuit.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This portion of 7 News is sponsored by Jeff Lynch, local family owned and operated since 1951.
Gas prices putting a strain on your budget? 7 News is showing you ways to lessen your pain at the pump, saving money on gas. Tonight at 11 on 7 News.
The first all-private astronaut crew to fly on the International Space Station has completed its mission. The 4 private citizens representing Houston-based Axiom Space splashed down off the coast of Florida after more than 2 weeks in space. Danya Backus has the story.
The SpaceX Dragon Endeavour capsule splashed down in the Atlantic Ocean near Jacksonville, Florida, just after 1 p.m.
Dragon Endeavour has returned home with the Axiom 1 crew.
Dragon SpaceX, we see splashdown and mains cut.
The picture-perfect landing followed 17 days in space, 240 orbits around Earth, and 6.3 million miles.
My thanks to you, everybody, all the people who have supported us around the world. Just amazing job and amazing mission.
The 4-man team blasted off from Kennedy Space Center April 8th for what was supposed to be an 8-day mission. Bad weather extended the trip to 17 days.
Welcome back to planet Earth. We hope you enjoyed the extra few days in space.
It's the first time a completely private crew has flown to the International Space Station. Former NASA astronaut Michael Lopez Alegria led as mission commander. Others aboard included real estate entrepreneur Larry Connor of Ohio, former Israeli fighter pilot Eitan Stibba, and Canadian businessman Mark Pathy. The men lived among the 7 astronauts already aboard the ISS and spent their days working on more than 24 science and technology experiments. Within an hour of splashing down, the world's newest private astronauts were walking their way back to life on Earth. Danya Backus, CBS News.
Now, SpaceX is contracted to fly 3 more Axiom astronaut missions to the ISS over the next 2 years.
Some of the Henderson County Special Olympics Spring Games were held today in Flat Rock. First responders there to help teachers at Upward Elementary School. They had a parade. Students in the school's intensive intervention classes participated in several activities like the relays. They threw darts, played t-ball, and bowling.
What I've noticed in 29 years of teaching is the implicit depth of joy that these guys have and these families have, not just for themselves, for each other. And it's a day of sharing that joy with others, and that's really what it's all about.
Now, the games weren't held countywide like in years past because of ongoing COVID restrictions, but organizers do hope they can have normal games again for the Special Olympics next year.
All right.
Right, it was great weather for it as well. We had beautiful weather this weekend. Today we cranked up the heat a little more, getting up to 84 officially at GSP, more typical of what we would find in early June, believe it or not. I think 84 is the average high temperature for June 2nd. Well, tonight we're going to see a few clouds. It's going to be very quiet overnight, very mild temperatures out there. But tomorrow, as a cold front comes in, it's going to bring in a chance of rain. The coverage to be widely scattered, but there could include a few thunderstorms across eastern and southern portions of the upstate getting into tomorrow afternoon. So heads up for that. And then behind the front, drier and milder temperatures starting on Wednesday. We'll get those readings back to where they should be for this time of year. We'll include some chilly nights as well. That cold front is out to our west right now. It's producing just a few showers along it over eastern Tennessee. That's going to continue to work its way eastward overnight, so that by tomorrow morning, by about 7 o'clock, if the timing stays the same, we'll start to see some showers increasing in western North Carolina. But across the upstate, I think conditions will still be dry. So you'll be fine on your way to work and school during the morning. But the afternoon hours, we'll look for that better chance of showers across the upstate. A few thunderstorms will fire up as well. But by 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, that cold front is off to our east, and that's also where the rain and thunderstorm activity will be. So we may have a few clouds left over, but the trend will be for us to clear out, and north winds will pull in some drier conditions, and that'll set us up for sunshine on Wednesday. We'll start out quite a bit colder with lows in the 40s Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, again, those highs into the mid-70s, which is average for this time of the year. So look at all the warmth across the southeastern portion of the country. Atlanta, 82. Jacksonville in the upper 70s, lower 80s right now in Raleigh, 80 in Mobile, Alabama. A little closer to home, we're at 81 in Spartanburg. Gaffney still reporting 84. 80 in Greenwood. We're at 76 degrees now in Asheville. Again, winds are out of the south, and there's a breeze in some areas, so when we keep the air stirred up, the temperature can't drop very quickly. So we're going to hold on to warmth for a good part of the evening before we slowly cool down overnight, and we'll expect light winds out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So our overnight low tonight, only 61. It is going to be very mild when you wake up tomorrow morning. The mountain's not bad either, down to around 56. So we'll get up to 79 for a high as that front moves in. Best chance of rain will be during the afternoon hours for the upstate, but the morning hours for the mountains. And again, not necessarily, widespread rain. We're talking widely scattered showers out there. Beautiful weather again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The chance of showers back for the weekend. And there's mountain forecast for tomorrow. Chance of rain, 66, 41 tomorrow night. Quite a bit cooler, sunny and 65 on Wednesday.
Maybe some very brief relief from those showers on all the allergies. It kind of washes the pollen away a little bit.
Yeah, it'll help. The widespread stuff really drags it all out, but really anything will help. So if somebody gets a downpour nearby, that'll pull some of that junk out.
And then everything just blooms
again.
And then
it comes right back. I know, it's crazy.
All right, Christy, thank you.
Sure.
Next on 7 News, a new survey shows how many Americans are skipping summer vacation this year. Find out the biggest reasons why.
This portion of 7 News is sponsored by Delisle Properties, where luxury comes standard.
It's your sleight of hand. It's your great escape. It's your all-day, all-night, tech-savvy magic carpet ride. The Hyundai Elantra. It's your journey. Own it.
Now get 2.25% APR for 60 months or $500 bonus cash on a Hyundai Elantra. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Mobile banking from Truist actually works for you. It gives you simple, smart, personalized insights to keep you one step ahead. Because we think that's the kind of control you deserve over your money. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. Truist. Download the mobile app now.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue, or save up to $37.62 on select models.
Culver's couldn't have started anywhere but in Sauk City, Wisconsin. Still today, we are a family restaurant. Here, nearby farms grow the food we eat, smiles are contagious, and everyone is someone's neighbor. It's a place where our love of fresh food is as strong as our love for each other. It's a feeling of welcome you'll notice the moment you stop by. Because where we come from has made us who we are, and for that, we couldn't be more proud. Welcome to Delicious.
The 2022 Toyota Camry. Always a step ahead. Get 0.9% APR for 36 months on a new 2022 Toyota Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
This portion of 7 News is sponsored by Tyndall Tree Service. Call today.
A community in Greenville is fighting for preservation. 7 News' Christine Scarpelli's in the Newtown community with more on an upcoming meeting.
This community meeting will happen right here in the sanctuary of Mountain View Baptist Church, and the goal is to learn how the community would like to see this area around the church rebuilt. The Parish House Community Development Corporation is seeking all public opinion here during this 3-day charrette. The charrette's an intensive planning session. It's where citizens, designers, and others collaborate to find a shared vision for development. The Newtown community covers the western edges of the city, one of the oldest, between the Swamp Rabbit Trail, Bramlett Road, and the CSX rail lines. It's adjacent to the future Unity Park. Reverend Stacy Mills says this is a community that moved in and built Mountain View Community Church, and now the church wants to do the same back to the community.
It's 100 acres that we get to actually develop, dream, plan, multifamily, living, single family attached, single family detached, businesses, business incubation, education, health, all of that can happen in 100 acres.
Again, come join. Your first opportunity is Tuesday at 5 p.m. right here at the church. This will continue all the way through Saturday morning with a bike ride with a historian around the community. We're here in Greenville. Christine Scarpelli, 7 News.
Consumer news now. Billionaire CEO Elon Musk reaches a deal to acquire Twitter for about $44 billion. Musk has said he would privatize the platform because he feels Twitter is not living up to its potential as a platform for free speech, and says he will when it comes to policing users' speech. Shares of Twitter rose to about 6% today. It rose 6%. I do want to correct myself there. A new lawsuit against Country Time claims the company is skimping on their lemonade powder. An Alabama man says the 19-ounce canisters of Country Time lemonade and pink lemonade only make 6 quarts of the drink instead of the advertised 8 quarts. Kraft Heinz, which makes Country Time lemonade, says the lawsuit lacks any merit.
About half of Americans say they'll skip their summer vacation this year because they can't afford it. A new Bankrate survey finds 2 biggest factors for not taking a summer trip are day-to-day bills and trying to pay off debt. Recent surveys show only 40% of Americans would be able to cover a $1,000 emergency expense.
The Department of Veteran Affairs says it's working to help people still suffering from COVID-19 symptoms. I'm Rashad Hudson in Washington, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
Feed the whole family with a big bow box. It's bow time.
In the Carolinas, True Blue means unwavering loyalty and commitment. To earn this level of trust, Ford builds the trucks and SUVs that help keep you in command when you're on the road. And in return, America has shown its loyalty. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Discover what True Blue means to you. Now get 1.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $2,000 bonus cash on select 2022 Ford SUVs. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Being there every minute of every day. As your community electric cooperative, it's not just our way of doing business, it's our way of life. And as a Touchstone Energy Cooperative member, that means value that goes far beyond the energy we provide. Value you can't really put a price on.
South Carolina's electric cooperatives.
If you rank 20 midsize SUVs by lowest maintenance cost, the Volkswagen Atlas and Atlas Crossport rank #1 and #2, beating Subaru, Toyota, and Honda. So really, the only thing better than a Volkswagen is a Volkswagen. Now's a smart time to get into a Volkswagen SUV. Visit your VW of the Carolinas dealer today to learn more about our vehicle lineup.
Car wreck? Been injured? Don't scream, call Akeem. We got $526,500 for our client who was injured by a drunk driver. Dial 800-ALL-7s now.
To get your attorney, dial 800-ALL-7s now.
In 9 seconds, a careless driver is going to hit me. I'll be hurt. I'll be out of work, but I won't be afraid. When disaster strikes, I'll call all nines.
You may not see it coming, but when disaster strikes, call George Sink Injury Lawyers and all nines.
Find a new outfit today at Gypsy Twist Boutique. In stock sizes from small to 5XL for both men and women. New shipments arriving weekly. All sizes, affordable, in stock. Gypsy Twist Boutique.
Best Reviews is an unbiased team that researches products in real-world situations to give reliable recommendations on just about everything. For the best reviews, go to bestreviews.com. Seriously, before you buy anything, ever.
Simple steps you can take to save on gas. Tonight at 11. Forecast First, sponsored by Carolina Ford Dealers.
Now at 7:30, a new three-way stop is in place in Fountain Inn. They're taking a closer look at it, though, because some drivers say instead of making things better, might be making things worse.
And one program is helping students get the skills they need for a job. Hear more about the Jacket Java program in Union County in a story you'll see only on 7 News.
At a push around the world and in one U.S. state to move to a 4-day work week.
A 7 News alert. The Department of Transportation is reviewing a new three-way stop weeks after it was put in place.
So it's in Fountain Inn now. The 7 News reporter Janie Bowman traveled to Fountain Inn to show us this new intersection and heard from drivers about what they want to see happen next.
This three-way stop at State Road 418 and Durbin Road was installed earlier this month. The Department of Transportation says the goal was to address traffic delays for some drivers on Durbin Road. But drivers I spoke with tell me they believe this change is actually creating more traffic.
It's definitely slowed it.
Some Fountain Inn drivers say they're upset with this new three-way stop. They say it's changing the flow of traffic.
There will be accidents here because of this.
And say it's creating traffic jams during morning and afternoon rush hour.
Been backed up to that gas station down there before.
On April 7th, the intersection transformed. Before, there was one stop sign at Durbin Road. Now, new signs and flags signal the all-way stop.
I was very surprised. I almost ran it.
Paul Webb agrees the three-way stop is slowing down drivers.
In the morning, I see you get probably 30 to 50 cars back, but there again, as long as people are courteous, it flows pretty well.
Department of Transportation leaders are studying the intersection to see if more modifications are needed. But Webb thinks the three-way stop is a good thing and keeps people safe. He also says as drivers try to avoid traffic, they're finding alternative routes, including near his downtown business.
I have seen the traffic flow through town increase since this has come up because people really don't like having to wait.
But as the city grows, some drivers say the intersection needs a long-term solution.
A roundabout.
They say new developments add more drivers and more traffic.
I think it's pretty busy.
It's fairly busy, especially now with some new subdivisions popping up. This one down here has just popped up, and that one up there is less than 3 years old.
A Department of Transportation spokesperson says after-action studies on this new three-way stop wrap up on Friday. In Fountain Inn, Janie Bowman, 7 News.
The mayor tells us both roads are state-owned. All the decisions are made by the DOT, but says he looks forward to the traffic study results.
Happening tomorrow, a Spartanburg County job fair. The county says they have dozens of openings. The county needs help at the sheriff's office and detention center, plus Parks and Rec, roads and bridges, and other departments. We have a full list on our website, WSPA.com. The event again will be held Tuesday at the Cleveland Park Event Center on North Cleveland Park Drive. You can apply between 10 a.m. and 2. Full and part-time is available.
Looks like the temperatures might be coming down just a little bit. Let's go to the chief meteorologist, Christy Henderson, for that look ahead.
All right, yeah, it's been nice and warm today for sure. Got up to 80 in Asheville, 84 degrees the high over at GSP. But out to our west is a cold front that's slowly working in our direction. We've had some showers that have been kind of spotty across the middle portion of Tennessee, but some of that rain will continue eastward as we head through the course of the overnight hours. And that means that it's not going to be here until we get into tomorrow morning and through about midday. Right now, temperatures are still warm. It'll stay that way all evening with 70s and 80s on the map. 81 still in Spartanburg, Greenville at 82, 76 in Asheville, and just a slow cool down in the forecast for tonight. By 9 o'clock, we're still in the 70s, and it'll be 50s and 60s tomorrow with that increasing chance for some showers and maybe even a couple of thunderstorms around the upstate too. We'll check it out in detail coming up in just a few minutes.
Christy, thanks. Only on 7 Union County high schools going the extra mile to get kids ready for the real world. They partnered with vocational rehabilitation to teach a group of students skills they'll need after graduation. They've got a program called Jacket Java. The program runs most mornings, around 10 students each shift. Students check orders, make drinks, count change, serve food, and then deliver those orders.
That's what it's all about, life skills. We're teaching them how to communicate with the public once they graduate high school. It's all about transition. How can we help them be successful after high school?
Like them to open a Jacket Java inside this TV station. To be nice. Through a partnership, the program allows these kids to job shadow, and then they do get job offers. When the students are juniors and seniors, they go out and earn money. Program tried to get its start during the pandemic, but it really started to take off this year.
Gas prices across the nation are starting to fall, but analysts say those prices could soon go up again. Gas experts say drivers need to shop smart in order to save on gas. Where you fill up plays a big role in what you pay. Gas stations right off the interstate are likely to be more expensive than ones farther down the road. AAA suggests using an app to plan trips.
AAA has one where you can map your route in advance. We have a fuel cost calculator that you could get on and map your route in advance so that you can look for those gas stations that have those affordable prices.
Mechanics say maintenance also plays a role in the longevity of your fuel efficiency, but there are other ways to preserve gas that you may not even be thinking about. So don't miss tonight at 11 as 7 News traffic reporter Olivia Parsons shows us the top money-saving tips when you pay at the pump.
Up next on 7 News, the Department of Veteran Affairs helping those suffering from symptoms of long COVID. Department of Veterans Affairs says it's doing research on long COVID and the impact it has on veterans.
It follows President Biden's push for new research on those who are suffering long-term effects of the virus. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has the story.
The Department of Veteran Affairs says it is working to help people still suffering from symptoms of COVID-19.
VA is not only helping veterans get the clinical care they need to recover from long COVID, we're also at the forefront of long COVID research.
VA Secretary Dennis McDonough says that research will focus on prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of those experiencing prolonged COVID symptoms, and will benefit veterans and non-veterans.
Because the work we do at VA and the lessons we learn at VA will inform and improve how the whole country responds to long COVID.
VA officials say the conditions remain a medical mystery affecting millions of Americans 2 years into the pandemic. Dr. Elizabeth Brill with the department says early research is finding serious health problems.
Increased risk of diabetes, cardiovascular illness, mental health disorders.
To help, the White House says President Biden will push to accelerate a $1.5 billion study started last year by the National Institutes of Health.
This will benefit veterans as well as the healthcare community more broadly as we share our knowledge and expertise in a widespread fashion.
The administration will also seek to raise awareness of long COVID as a potential disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act. Reporting in Washington, Rashad Hudson.
Next on 7 News, one company is trying out a 4-day work week. Sounds nice. Hear why some say a shorter work week is better for employees.
All right, with the kind of weather we've had, it would be very easy to take a day off. Temperature's going to be cooling off, though, for tomorrow, and there's a chance of showers in the forecast. I'll talk more about when to expect them coming up.
Real-time closed captioning of this program is provided by the state of South Carolina.
When you build your home, you're building your future. A mix of hard work and the right tools, like the 2022 Ford F-150 truck with available Pro Power onboard. See your Carolina Ford dealer. Start building your future today.
Upstate, you don't have to travel far to find family. Furniture Warehouse has been serving our community for over 40 years. We take pride in our local hometown hospitality. This rocker recliner, $4.99. This 7-piece queen bedroom set, $19.99. Or this sectional, $18.99. We carry furniture for every style and budget. We have markdowns on all of our in-stock furniture throughout all 3 of our massive showrooms. When you shop with us, you become part of our family. Furniture Warehouse showroom in Lyman. Welcome home.
It's your personal security detail. It's your invisible enforcer. It's your blind spot spotter, dedicated protector, precious cargo carrier, IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. The Hyundai Tucson, Palisade, and Santa Fe. It's your journey. Own it.
Now, get 2.25% APR or $500 bonus cash on a new Kona, Tucson, or Santa Fe. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Meet Jessica Moore. Jessica was born to care. She always had your back. Like the time she spotted the neighbor kid, an approaching car, a puddle, and knew there was going to be a situation.
That's my best friend. She don't need no lift, drive her own car. She don't need...
Miss Hogan's class? Yeah, it's Atlantis. Nice. I don't think they had camels in Atlantis.
Really? Today, she's a teammate at Truist, the bank that starts with care. When you start with care, you get a different kind of bank.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue, anything but basic.
Get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue, or save up to $37.62 on select models.
It's time again for the annual Adventure Motorhomes Customer Appreciation Event. Time to catch up with friends and enjoy a complimentary barbecue lunch. While here, check out our amazing selection of motorhomes, travel trailers, and fifth wheels. Be sure to ask us about our show pricing and how you can score free fuel to power your next camping trip. So stop by and check out the latest from all the brands you trust, only at Adventure Motorhomes.
It's you and your friends, hanging out, having fun, building new relationships, building your future with the smart tech that comes with the 2022 Ford Escape SUV. See your Carolina Ford dealer. Start building your future today.
California lawmakers are considering a bill to make the standard work week 32 hours instead of 40. If it becomes law, it would apply to workers and companies with 500 or more employees. There's a global push to have more companies adopt a shorter work week. Here's Elise Preston.
Patton Hindle works from home for Kickstarter, a crowdfunding site that helps new businesses raise money. Now the company is starting its own new project, changing its employee work week from 5 days to just 4.
Across the board, we're seeing within the company that people are very happy.
Hindle says working 32 hours a week and having an extra day off gives her more quality time with her stepson.
And so instead of me coming back here and sitting down and working, I was able to actually come back, watch a movie, spend time with him, and give him the attention and love that he really wanted.
Kickstarter is part of a pilot program with dozens of other companies testing this new model for 6 months. Joe O'Connor is CEO of 4 Day Week Global, which is running the program. Their research has shown 78% of employees with a shorter week are happier and less stressed, and 63% of businesses find it easier to attract and retain talent.
It's had an enormous transformative impact on people's lives in terms of improved well-being, improved work-life balance, reduced stress and reduced burnout.
A Denver company that adopted a 4-day work week saw productivity stay the same, and that's what leaders at Kickstarter are expecting.
People think that productivity is a function of just hours worked, and it really isn't. It matters how focused people are, how engaged they are at work.
What are you hoping happens after this 6-month pilot? Do you want it to stick around? Do you want it to go back to a 5-day work week?
That's a great question. I think you know the answer.
I gotta ask.
We definitely want it to stay around.
Patton is far from alone. In a survey from Qualtrics, 92% of workers support the idea of moving to a 4-day work week. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
In Iceland, most employees have a 4-day work week. Last month, Belgium announced workers could opt to work 4 10-hour days.
I love this next story. A big milestone was reached today at Shriners Hospital, Children's Hospital in Greenville.
Ring the bell.
For the first time since March 2020, a Shriners patient who finished treatment got to ring the bell. Elena Williams got to do the honors. Her right foot was inside her leg when she was born. She needed more than 30 surgeries. Her family moved to the upstate from D.C. to undergo the treatment.
They amputated my leg in 7th grade, and they've taught me how to walk and how to run, and they've given me a cool prosthetic to paint.
They've been very
But she's got big plans. Williams plans to attend High Point University this fall as a psychology major. She recently published a book about her recovery, and proceeds from the sales, she says, will be donated back to the Shriners Hospital.
All right, very good story there. Our weather story hasn't been bad either so far, but we are going to see some changes moving in tomorrow as a cold front rolls in from the west. It's going to take until tomorrow to get here, though, so if you've been outside, you know how warm it's been. 84 was our high at GSP, 80 in Asheville. We're going to really hold on to a lot of that warmth overnight. There may be a few clouds, but very mild temperatures and dry weather going into tomorrow morning, but scattered showers will increase across the area during the day. For the upstate, best chance about midday into the early afternoon hours. A couple thunderstorms could be involved as well, and then we'll look for drier and milder conditions to settle in for Wednesday. So back to bright sunshine on Wednesday through Friday, looking pretty good. Well, the cold front is still over Tennessee. You can see there's been some showery weather associated with that, but no big block of rain moving our way. Around our area, of course, skies are mostly clear. We had some of those fair weather cumulus clouds developing, but as temperatures slowly cool off, those clouds so they go away, but we'll see clouds increasing in North Carolina overnight. And by tomorrow morning, a chance of showers there, too. Now, a lot of that may still be focused right along the Tennessee-North Carolina line at 7 a.m. So for the upstate, I think it's going to be a dry drive to work throughout most of western North Carolina. That may be the case, but going through the morning hours, those shower chances increase for the mountains and then across the upstate by midday. A few thunderstorms will try to develop, favoring eastern and southern portions of our viewing area. And then by tomorrow evening, all of that is off to our east as the cold front moves farther away. Northwesterly winds will pick up, and that brings in that drier air and the cooler air. So going into Wednesday morning, we'll start out in the 40s. It's going to be a big change from what we'll see tomorrow morning. We'll see bright sunshine, and still temperatures will top out in the 60s and 70s, a little closer to where we should be for this time of year. A lot of warmth across the south and southeast, the Gulf South in the 80s from Mobile over towards Tallahassee, 82 in Atlanta, 81 ahead of that front in Knoxville, Tennessee, and a little closer to home. We're holding on to that warmth as well. Clemson at 80, or at 82 in Greenville, 79 in Spartanburg, and 76 in Asheville. So for tonight, down to around 60 degrees in general across the upstate. It is going to be a very warm overnight for us. Mountains will see increasing cloud cover. Temperatures quite mild there as well, right around the mid-50s from Waynesville over towards Asheville, bottoming out around 56. So your 7-day forecast shows those changes on the way. For tomorrow, you know, it's not going to be a washout, but you will want to watch out for some showers to be around during the afternoon hours. Again, a storm possible as well in the upstate, a high of 79. 47 for tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are dry before another chance of rain comes back for next weekend, potentially into Monday as well. So we're going to have a nice stretch of dry weather before those shower chances come back. And there's your mountain forecast for tomorrow. 66, a chance of showers mainly in the morning, bright sunshine and cooler weather on Wednesday with highs in the 60s. Taylor?
All right, Christy, but the good thing about the rain is all the blooms it's going to bring in May.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to do good things.
Thanks, Christy.
Sure.
Up next, we'll check with 7 Sports Director Pete Yannity to see what's on tap, including, are the Panthers ready to pull the trigger on a deal for this Cleveland quarterback?
Tonight on CBS starting at 8, don't miss The Price is Right at Night, followed by NCIS and NCIS Hawaii.
Tonight's lineup is brought to you by STI, currently hiring drivers.
It's Hamrick's 2-day senior event. Seniors take an extra 15% off, including wow items. Alfred Dunner coordinates, $20. Ladies branded bottoms, $14. Men's Carhartt, 20% off. Crocs clogs, $29. Assorted bamboo and copper knit pillows, $8. And new bionic lighting, $29.98. Hamrick's 2-day senior event. Seniors take an extra 15% off, including wow items.
In the Carolinas, True Blue means unwavering loyalty and commitment. To earn this level of trust, Ford builds the trucks and SUVs that help keep you in command when you're on the road. And in return, America has shown its loyalty. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Discover what True Blue means to you. Now get 1.9% financing for 60 months plus up to $2,000 bonus cash on select 2022 Ford SUVs. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. Not everyone can say them, but we can. Made in America. Real steel. Find yours.
Just outside of a town called Basic is Basic Lake, where families gather together for some basic fun. And if you have the 2022 Nissan Rogue, with a VC turbo engine and 5 drive modes, you can climb above Basic and find a trail where no one else goes. The 2022 Nissan Rogue. Anything but basic.
Get 0.9% APR financing for 36 months on Rogue, or save up to $37.62 on select models.
We already know wet wipes clean better than toilet paper alone. Now they break apart faster in water, too. Introducing new, nice and clean, secure flush technology flushable wipes. They break apart 5 times faster than toilet paper. So they're better for your pipes, better for your tush, and better for the environment.
That's flushing awesome.
Only these new, nice and clean wipes clean better than toilet paper.
And break apart 5 times faster.
Available in the pharmacy section at Walmart.
Paying for internet and cable keeps getting more expensive.
I know some folks paying $130 a month.
7 News consumer anchor Diane Lee's here to help with money-saving tips to cut your monthly bill.
I'm probably saving $50, $60 a month.
Cutting your cost. Wednesday at 11 on 7 News.
Time once again to check with 7 News Sports Director Pete Yannity for a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Hiya, Pete.
Gordon, think about all the different things you're going to hear about what team may do what ahead of the draft on Thursday night, the opening round of the draft. Well, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport saying the Panthers won't make a deal for Baker Mayfield prior to the opening round. Instead, waiting to see how things play out on Thursday. It gives you the impression they may end up going with a quarterback with their 6th overall pick, unless a team blows them away with a better trade offer. Well, Clemson's Max Wagner has essentially turned into Mike Schmidt, the Tigers' third baseman, earning both ACC and National Player of the Week honors. He hit 6 home runs in a 4-game stretch and extended his homer streak to a program record-tying 5 consecutive games. Wagner's among the top 7 in the nation with 17 long balls so far this season, heading into a game tomorrow night against PC. Tigers then play Wednesday afternoon at home against Wofford, and that ball club moves up 2 spots to number 22 in the new Baseball America poll. Terriers' 3rd straight week in the rankings. Twins. They had a 10-game winning streak snapped Sunday at Mercer, but took 2 out of 3 from the Bears. They stand 8-1 in the SoCon, and the Terriers' Brennan Durigge and John Vitus are the SoCon Player and Pitcher of the Week, respectively. For yet another Sunday, a Cup Series race decided on the final lap. This time it was Ross Chastain right behind Kyle Larson, who goes into Eric Jones, takes him into the wall, clearing the pathway for Chastain to get the win at Talladega. He had a most interesting reaction to it.
I'm always the one going to the top too early and making the mistake, and there at the end it was like 8 to go, and I was like, I'm not going up there again. I did that a couple times today. They kept going up, and they just kept moving out of the way.
And he stayed down for the win. After the victory, his second this season, second in Cup, he continued what has become a tradition of smashing a watermelon, just like Gallagher has come to NASCAR. The reason he does it? To pay homage to the fact that his family apparently has been in watermelon farming for 8 generations. Gigi Jackson has alerted the world that he'll reveal his college basketball plans Wednesday afternoon. 6'9" junior just led Columbia's Ridgeview High to the 5A state title, and he has USC in North Carolina right up there among his choices. Gamecocks did land point guard transfer Michi Johnson from Ohio State today. Brevin Galloway broke Clemson's heart with a winning jumper for Boston College this season, but today the Seneca native says on social media that he's down to the Tigers and USC for a transfer season. He averaged just over 8 points a game, but shot just 26% beyond the arc for Boston College during the past season after he transferred there from the College of Charleston. And finally, over the weekend, the area had a frenzy of basketball players as top prospects from around the nation took part in a major Adidas tourney. I mean, they were from all over the country, some of the most highest rated. So just about every college coach in the nation was in the area, from those close by to those from all around different parts of the nation. Christy.
All right, thanks a lot, Pete. Very mild temperatures in the forecast going into tomorrow morning. Upper 70s the high with a chance of rain on Tuesday, and then dry and cooler Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. More rain on the way, it looks like, for next weekend.
Christy, thank you. That's all for this edition of 7 News at 7. We'll see you again for more 7 News at 10 on the Carolina CW and right here at 11.
Always on WSPA.com. Have a good night, everybody.
Feed the whole family with a big Bow Box. It's bow time.